And welcome to the LMS show. My name is Lenny Matthews, and we're direct from Sisters, Uptown Bookstore and Cultural Center. Give them a big hand. Now, who was in the audience, do me the biggest favor. Let's say Sister Jennifer and Corey. 1, 2, 3. Sister Jennifer and Corey. Sister Jennifer and Corey. Sister Jennifer and Corey. Hey! Try to keep it alive here. We ain't advertising, but we advertising for a cause. Woo! What we're gonna have a show for you in the first half. We're gonna be talking about health, nutrition, everything else, keeping ourselves in shape and all this kind of stuff. You know, I think people make a lot of money off of this stuff. You know that? I turn on the radio. Well, you just got to do this, you got to do that. The weight business and all that, that's the biggest, well, I don't use expression, biggest racket out. Somebody's winning in this game. Well, anyway, we have a young lady, and we don't want to mess up names. What is the name?
My name is Monifa Ma'at.
Say it again.
Monifa Ma'at.
Say it one more time, you don't mind.
All right, thank you.
Say it one more time.
Sure. Monifa Ma'at.
Give it up for Monifa. Give it up. Hey. Back to you. You know what you get yourself into, girlfriend. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Lenny, for inviting me to be back a second time.
Yeah, some people don't get the first chance.
That's right. So this is a blessing. And thank you to Sister Jennifer and Corey. I am delighted to be back at Sisters Uptown Bookstore. This is a hallmark of the community. Some people say Washington Heights, some people say Harlem. I just say it is in the community. Thank you, sisters, for giving us this platform to share our stories.
And we'll stop right there. So we have another outlet, public access, that they'll say I'm free of advertising.
Well, we're giving love, and we're giving recognition.
Yeah, we are, and that's what we're doing. We're giving them recognition.
But back to your question. My name is Monifa Ma'at. They call me the Healthy Motivator. I am a healthy lifestyle coordinator, expert, fitness expert, author. And I'm delighted to be here. My purpose, my mission is to motivate people to live a more healthy, more inspired life.
In what way?
With purpose. Well, just to exercise self-care. What do I mean when I say that? So many of us, we wake up in the morning and we're so used to just kind of going about our day in a way that is routine. You know, we get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, we have our coffee, and so we don't realize
we
that
wash up too, right?
Yeah, well,
we want to be fucking even the house to go on the train.
That's right. But what I'm saying is that we have habits. We have daily habits. And we don't realize some of our habits are good and some of our habits are not so good for our health. So my purpose, my mission is to get us as a people to focus on our daily habits, because it is those habits that will provide the foundation of what our total lifestyle
do you give seminars and seminars and workshops and stuff like that about this?
I do, and it is because of my desire to share what I have learned and what has worked for me. Most of you know, I don't know if I can mention the book that I wrote. I know well, it is. It's called Better Aerobics.
Better Aerobics? What kind of aerobics?
Well, you have to think of the word aerobics. What does aerobic mean? It means with oxygen, right?
Yeah, we need oxygen.
That's right. That's right. And I tell people all the time, oxygen is free. Take as much in as you can. So many of us, speaking of daily habits, so many of us have the habit of sitting, right? We all sit, right? And some of us use a computer. and we're typing. I'm just giving an example of a
Oh,
daily
yeah,
habit.
okay.
Okay, so I'm actually, because I'm a very visual person, so I'd like to actually act it out and just give an example. And I invite everyone to do this with me. So we're sitting in our chair, and I would like to invite everyone to pretend like you're typing, and our shoulders are hunched over, right?
Everybody always pretend you're typing.
Everybody to pretend like you're typing, right? Now, what I want you to do, because your shoulders are hunched over, right? And you see my back is bent, I want you to try to take a deep breath. Okay. Now, I want you to do it the right way. I want you to roll your shoulders back. That's right. Type and try to take a deep breath.
And we're rolling.
Now, could you not take in more oxygen? Could you feel better about that? Yes. So what we're not realizing is that every day we're suffocating ourselves because we're not getting enough oxygen to our brain, and we wonder why we have brain fog and why we're tired all the time and why we have headaches and why our metabolism isn't what it should be. Well, I have a slow metabolism. You know, it's really, a lot of us are oxygen starved. So that's a habit. So how do we get more oxygen? Through movement, through stretching. I'm not talking about running a marathon. I'm not talking about going to the gym necessarily and, pounding, hitting the weight. I'm not necessarily talking about that. I'm talking about the most effective forms of change. And we're talking about, in your daily life or daily functional activities. It's little things we can do. What are those things we can do? Well, that's what this book is about. 3 things. Movement, right?
Okay.
That's the body, the mind, affirmations, what we tell ourselves. We can either tell ourselves we're sick and tired of this and sick and tired of that, or we can tell ourselves that victory is simple when we first seek the temple, or we can tell ourselves that every day we improve in our power to move, right? That's an affirmation, right? Every day I improve in my power to move.
Well,
and then there's the
so once you
spirit.
improve themselves every day, right?
Yeah.
You got a bookstore. They got a lot of things to improve yourself, right?
That's right. That's right. And it's really about making it a part of your lifestyle. I believe in gradual change. I don't believe in.
That's sometimes people say about losing weight, and I listen to these shows. I'm not calling them all racking, but I'm just saying is that sometimes people think that once it takes a while before you lose weight. Do you agree with that?
I agree that that's the healthiest way is to do it on a gradual basis.
Because if you go on one of these crazy diets and stuff like that, you will go on after that.
I say about diets, I'm not going to hate on any diet. Diets work and they don't work. And they mostly don't work.
Don't it depend on the individual?
Yeah, it does, but I think in general, diets work and they don't work. And emphasis on don't work, because sure, you'll lose the weight, but the question is, what lifestyle did you actually change? Did you take a pill to lose the weight? Did you take a drink? How long can you be on a liquid diet, right? I'm not going to mention any particular diets. How long can you take this shake? How long can you take this pill? So I think that nutrition programs that focus on lifestyle change have the most lasting benefits.
But also, too, before you go on any kind of a diet or anything like that, don't you have to consult with your physician, they call your primary care physician now, folks?
Absolutely. Always consult with your physician. Always consult with your physician. But I also say this, I leave that with a caveat, and I have the highest respect for the medical community. I have friends in the medical community, love the medical community. However, I think that people need to understand and trust their own instincts as well. Do your own research, and more importantly, ask questions of your physician. I think that
there's something you don't know. Look, hold it. They don't give you a chance. They give you 15 minutes. The doctor told me one time, 15 minutes, and that's it. He said, I can't go over. No, that's it. Time on the watch. I got to go. He's not rushing you off the stage, but they said time on the watch. I can't do it.
Well, you need to change your doctor.
Let me change. Need to change the whole clinic and then just settle.
And that's the other thing. I think that there's an organization called Exercise as Medicine, or Exercise is Medicine. I teach a workshop for a major university as a fitness expert. And one of the things.
Free plugs.
Oh no! Well, I just said a major university.
A major university.
But it ties into what you're saying. That's why I think it's important. And I talk about physical activity for community care, and I speak to community health workers. And one of the things that, because in many ways they are the linchpin, they are the middle ground, the coordinators between the health expert, the physician, and and the patient.
Well, also too, you should do like as far as medicines and stuff like that. My late father used to do. He went out and got himself a medical book, and about every pill that's on there, he wants to see what the side effect. And he'll go back and tell the doctor, "Yo, I ain't taking this," and he had to switch it up to something else.
Yeah. And then there's some patients that actually go the natural route, maybe by taking things like apple cider vinegar. I've heard all sorts of, apple cider vinegar every morning, and then going back to the doctor, and the doctor saying, "Well, wait a minute, what did you do? Your blood pressure is lower." "Well, I've been taking, apple cider vinegar." So then the doctor might say, "Well, keep doing that." Many doctors will acknowledge that they don't have as much knowledge about nutrition. How many hours of nutrition do they actually get?
And also, too, you have a primary care doctor. If he doesn't know anything, don't he send you to somebody else, right? He can send you to somebody who's of course, a specialist. A specialist,
Yeah. So I think that it's important. My point was, exercise is medicine. To speak to your physician, and even if they don't ask you how much, we ask about blood pressure, we ask about sugar, we ask about cholesterol. But how often are we asked about how much exercise are you getting on a daily basis? Really.
I've seen people come to. We got to wrap up. Go to the census. Well, I'm a senior, folks. Okay, I'm still young at heart. Still young at heart. But we have people who come in, to talk about. Like I think we had some came in to talk about arthritis yesterday, and they asked me, said, do you have any questions? Well, I guess the seniors might get ready to go back to the card game. There was no questions.
I will say to arthritis and joint pain. These are things that
we're not prescribing anything. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. We got to be careful.
And I say that at all times. Definitely speak to your doctor. But I will say on a general level, many times what is disguised as, or what you might think may be, oh, I'm getting arthritis or I have this pain in my joints, are toxins that are trapped in your joints. Toxins. And so with the movement of the body, that's why it's very, very important to stretch. It's very, very important to breathe. Because in effect, what you're doing is you're moving the other fluid. We know about the blood. We know that the heart pumps the blood throughout, the body's veins and arteries. But what about the lymphatic system? What about the lymph fluid, right? And the only way that fluctuates, the only way that circulates is through what? Movement. So that's why it's important. That is your body's, physician. That is your body's immune system, your lymphatic system.
On that note, I'd like to thank you very much for joining.
Thank you. That was so much fun. I'm so short.
Well, yeah, because I'm on the clock. It's like radio and TV. I don't listen to radio for nothing. Everything is formatted.
I have a background in radio, so I perfectly understand. I think that's excellent. You're able to stop right on the. A lot of people can't stop. Right?
Well, I've been doing it for how many years? And I still learn. I still, one thing about you never stop learning. I sit back and listen to the radio. I listen to all kinds of talk shows and this and that and the other. Listen to old Rush and listen to this one and that one. But I see how I may not agree with them on everything, but I learn how they format something, how it comes up to to the point, and that's it. Remember on the radio they selling commercials, and they don't put the commercials in. You ain't gonna hear that star tomorrow. He gonna be unemployed. On that note, what's that name again? Say your name.
Monifa Ma'at, the healthy motivator. Monifa.
You in the papers
Ma'at.
too. You in the papers too.
I am. I'm the wellness columnist for the Harlem News. So for those of you who have read my articles, you like it?
I'm gonna do a little something. Make sure you put the L. Say you gonna be on the LMS show. And on that note, thank you so much.
Clap.
And welcome back to the LMS show. Give yourself a big hand. Hooray! They always been with me. I love them so much. I really do. And you told me you love me, baby. Baby, baby, baby. Oh, baby. I love Karen Carpenter. Don't you all love Karen Carpenter? Don't you miss us? Give the Karen Carpenter a big hand, everybody.
Yeah.
Now, that was singing. Think about the people we got today. Will you remember them 10 years from now?
Nope.
Will you remember them tomorrow? Nope. Case closed. Wait a minute, we have one in the house before we start.
Uh-oh.
Louise, give Louise. Sally go around the roses. Jeanette, give us a big hand. Okay, now I gotta get back down. Get down to Uptown. Get down to some crazy business. This book, I met this gentleman at a book fair in Manhattan. Exciting book. It's called The Choices We Make. Choices we make in relationships and everything. Your relatives, you have no control over that. But people who you pick out there, well, maybe sometimes your friend may become when you run your relatives, you have no control over that. But I would like for you to meet young gentleman here. What's the name of it?
My name?
Your name.
Robert Thad Gardner Jr.
Give it up one more time. I read, now this is a highlight, but sometimes put highlights in the book. You had an incident where you went to jail. And we ain't talking about no monopoly anyway.
No, we're not. I didn't pass go or collect $200.
Tell us what happened there.
Okay, I was married in that scenario with my first wife. And on the day in question, I had something to do and she had something to do. And so I was supposed to watch our daughter in the beginning of the day so she could get her hair done, and then she would come home and watch our daughter so that I could do what I had to do. So when she came home, she told me that I had to take our daughter with me. And what I was going to do, I couldn't take my daughter.
What happened? What happened there?
So essentially what happened was she was just, she could be a real evil person, and I had said to her, I hate you. I just really exploded, and I said, I hate you, and she started punching on me. So what I did was I put my arms around her to stop her from hitting me, because my mother always told me never to hit girls, and I've been getting my butt kicked ever since. So anyway, when I wrapped her up to stop her from hitting me, she said, I'm calling the police. So I said, well, that's fine, because I didn't do anything. Nothing was broken. There was no blood. So she ran to call the police. And when the police came, they said, Robert, your wife said you punched her in the stomach. And I said, what? I didn't hit her. And she hit me. So they said, and so my daughter's crying there, our 2-year-old daughter. So they said, well, you want to file a charge against her? So I said, no, because, if I have her arrested, then my daughter's going to be in the system. So I had to take the L on that. I got arrested. They locked me up for domestic violence, and I never hit her, but she lied and told the police that I punched her in the stomach. So that's pretty much what happened.
Well, that's the police for you. That's all I can say.
And then I had to be bailed out $5,000, and she bailed me out. And
She bailed you out?
Yeah. Well, see, my ex-wife was very vindictive. Had I hit her, I would still be in jail. So, this was in 2002, and so the truth of the matter is, I never hit her, and her oldest brother told her to bail me out, and so I was bailed out. And it was at that time while I was locked up that I decided that I had to leave her. But I was struggling because we had a daughter, and I love my daughter.
But also, too, in writing this book, was this book on the result of this?
Yes, I was inspired by that marriage to write this book, because...
How long did it take for you to write this book? After somebody locking me up, it would be about the time that book be on the market. And
I was only locked up for a day, but that was long enough.
That's long enough.
Yeah, that was definitely long enough. So what happened was I decided that I would write a book to help people understand the importance of making good relationship choices.
I think that's important. Sometimes you know, people could put a mask on you, and all these years, you don't know. I know one person I knew for years. I know the person was a schizophrenic.
Well,
you know, things like that.
Well, the truth of the matter is that she didn't really have a mask. I saw some of the issues prior to us getting married, and I thought that maybe my positive energy and the things that I do with my friends, that perhaps she would get on board and see how we were living, and maybe she would, you know, connect to the positive vibe. But I was wrong, and so I married her, you know, seeing the issues.
But sometimes it was right before your eyes too, right?
No, exactly. And so
sometimes we think, you know, everything will change afterwards, right? Does it change?
No.
Okay. That's a quick answer. That's the quickest answer.
Yeah. Marriage doesn't change anything, and having children doesn't
some
change
people say,
anything.
well, let's have another baby, and then things will change. You know, it'll be lovey-dovey for a while, then next thing you know, hey, it's back in the saddle again, right?
Exactly.
We plan to, with your permission, and we plan to bring you back another day to talk about. I would like to. I didn't really read the book, and I like to read stuff first before I sit back here and to make, you know, and then we have a real lot discussion about it.
Okay.
Oh, but what part of the book is it? People type. Let me do this. Sometimes they talk about low esteem. Talk about low esteem.
No, it's low self-esteem.
Self-esteem. Okay.
What happens with the low self-esteem is, see, when I was a young man, I was attracted to, you know, the petite, pretty type of girl.
Oh, yeah.
And what was happening was I was finding out that none of them were happy. But at the time, I didn't know what low self-esteem was. I was just a guy on the move. And I would meet these, you know, so-called pretty girls, but this one was, unhappy. One was angry. The other was sad. And so
they showed to make this long story short, brother. They had issues.
Exactly. And so at the time, I didn't understand. You know, I thought if a nice guy meets a nice girl, you know, that you could live happily ever after. And so all of my pretty girls really turned out to be pretty ugly. And so that is what brought to my attention that people had issues. Like one girl.
But tell me about one. Tell me about one.
Well,
I got a whole lot to tell you, but tell me about one. You're not interviewing me. I'm interviewing you. Tell me about one.
Well, there was one that I really had strong feelings about.
You did.
And she didn't know her father, and I didn't know. Well, see, I didn't know. All of my friends, our fathers were not in the house, but we all knew our fathers. So I never met anybody that didn't know their father. But she would tell me, I never met my father, and I didn't realize how angry she was about the fact that she never met her father and the void in her life. And that was when I was starting to learn about the different types of issues that people had. Because, I mean, my mother died when I was 9, my sister overdosed on heroin when I was 12. So I had my own life experiences, but they were still, they weren't bad, you know.
As far as the girls that you met, what was her issue? She had no daddy and all this, or what?
Who, the wife?
No, not your wife.
No, I'm talking about that's the one that inspired me to write the book.
Yeah. No, not the one. Yeah, but the one you said. Yeah.
Oh, she never knew her father.
Right.
And she was angry. Not my ex-wife. I'm talking about the.
Yeah. That's I don't want to talk about your ex-wife. But go ahead, tell me about.
Well, she didn't know her father, but there were times when we would have good times together, and then all of a sudden she would be mad for no reason. And when she got mad, she really got mad, and I just.
She really got mad?
I mean, you know, one minute we're happy, the next minute I'm trying to understand what's going on, and I found myself apologizing for things I didn't do just to try to make things right, and then, you know, these people don't communicate, they don't tell you what's on their mind, And so it's, you know, I just realized that in order to be in relationships, we have some work to do.
Okay, and on that note, we would like to thank you very much. Oh, she had a hissy fit, huh? Well, we got to bring you back. You want to come back?
I'd love to come back.
Okay. Well,
So that way I can tell them, you know, I can, you know, give the full details
oh,
about.
yeah. As the late Paul Harvey said, and now you know the rest of the story.
There you go.
I like Paul Harvey. On that note, we would like to thank you very much for watching the LMS show, and we'll see you soon.
Well, thank you very much.
You welcome.